Okay, so I want to show you today how to do email marketing. I know that many of you are keen to do email marketing and you're not really sure what to do. So I'm going to give you some tips today, some tips that will enable you to actually progress with your email marketing. Okay, so I know a lot of you would love to know more about how to do email marketing. So what I would love to do for you today is show you a few simple steps to get you started. For those of you that have never heard of me before, I'm Bea Roberts of insighttomarketing.com. I'm a brand and marketing consultant, trainer, coach, and also international speaker. And I love helping entrepreneurs to think differently about marketing in the way that they appreciate it as something that's worth investing in rather than it being a cost. And email marketing is one of those things that I think is a bit of a no-brainer if you're wanting to grow your business. Reason being is that, you know, in my history, let's say, of doing both as an employee and a consultant, marketing campaigns, I can't think of one campaign where we haven't used email. And email is a great way to actually keep costs low. It's also a great way to effectively communicate with people, lapsed customers, new customers, people that come in through sales funnels as, leads. And these are some of the ways in which you can effectively, use email. But the key thing for me is constant communication. So actually having regular contact with people, being able to update them on special offers, news, announcements, sales messaging as and when appropriate, videos, sending through inspirational messages, you name it. It's a great way to stay connected. So I want to show you today how I can take you through several quick steps to get you set up. And what I wanted to say to you today is, although I am only going to be using one email tool, there are many other email marketing tools out there. And actually, you'll see some of these on the screen. So if you are familiar with platforms like Constant Contact and Dotmailer and Salesforce and Aweber, and also you've got MailChimp as well, there are lots of ways in which you can actually send emails. But today I'm going to be focusing on one of those ways. So whilst there are lots of ways to send emails and there are different platforms, I can only train you on one. So you can also use, you'll see at the bottom now I've got WordPress as well. If you wanted to do email forwarding, you can do that via WordPress as well. You'd need to speak to your web designer on that. But on WordPress, you can get it, via, you can connect via your actual domain. So if you've got a registrated domain name, you can actually connect it through WordPress.com, and also you can activate it so that people can send emails to you, vice versa. So hey everyone, it's Bea Roberts here of insighttomarketing.com, and today I'm going to be sharing some tips on email marketing. I really want to give you some insight into how you can use email marketing because, believe it or not, it's one of the ways that I have grown my business over the last few years. And in fact, in my last 20 plus years of being in marketing and branding and also working as a consultant, what I found is that the clients that are consistently sending emails and communicating with a list of people that are interested in their services are actually yielding the best results. And email marketing is a great way to keep people informed of what you're doing, a really good way to connect with people and give them special announcements. If you're doing a product launch, if you've got an event, if you want to send a lovely video or a picture, it can all be done using email. And the beautiful thing about email is that it doesn't cost you a penny other than a Wi-Fi connection and obviously a laptop or piece of kit to actually send the email. You don't need much. You don't need to print anything. You just need to have that internet connection. So today I really want to show you the benefits of using email, but also I want to be able to tell you a little bit about a particular tool that I use that my clients who want to get started on email find really, really useful, and that's MailChimp. And I'll give you a bit of history to this. So when I started my business, some of you may already know my story. I've obviously been in the industry for 20 plus years. And prior to actually starting Insight to Marketing, I've been doing lots of sort of national, international campaigns, and email marketing was always core to many of them. And, you know, at the time it wasn't even using anything. I think we used .mailer at the time quite a lot in the organizations I was working with, and also MailChimp more recently. But in my organization, I've successfully been able to use MailChimp to for free, because MailChimp is free, to keep clients informed of what's going on. So to talk a bit more about my brand, to tell my story a bit more. But the main way in which I'm communicating with MailChimp is to share useful tips. So every week I share useful tips via my newsletter. And if you don't already have sign up to my email newsletter and you want to get the tips, I will share my sign up page with you shortly. So just a few bits of information with regards to email. There are lots of different tools you can use. As I said, today I'm going to be talking about MailChimp, but there are also other tools like Constant Contact, .mailer that I mentioned earlier, Aweber, Salesforce. And you can even hook up your WordPress site if you use WordPress to connect to emails as well. What I really want to get across today, though, is that there isn't any particular tool I would recommend. I think it really just does depend on what your preferences are, because in terms of your the way that you work, if you're really techie, you might prefer one particular platform over another. So I would say make sure that you do a bit of research. Today's session's only on MailChimp because that's what I find my clients work really well with when they're just getting started on email. But not just that, actually, that's the one that I've had most results with to date, and it keeps on upgrading its features. So aside from the fact that it's free, it is currently offering new features. So do check it out, get up to date with all of these platforms, and then decide on the one you want to use. I'll show you today exactly how you can use MailChimp, okay? So as I said, this session is all about MailChimp, and you can log on to MailChimp using MailChimp.com. So as you see it on the screen there, that's exactly how you'd log in, www.mailchimp.com. As I said, the main benefits of email marketing is that it's a low cost. It can really easily be monitored as well. It's a great way to stay connected. You can grow a list of subscribers, which in turn would be people that might refer others to you, that may be people that actually share your email with others to help you grow your list, maybe people that help you share your articles, that follow you on social media, or that even buy from you. All right. So there are many benefits of using email. I know a lot of experts will say, build a list so that you can increase sales. Actually, it's not just about the sales. It's about communication. It's about communicating with lapsed customers. It's about communicating with people that may be interested in your service. And it's also about communicating with people that need to be kept informed, whether they're interested in buying from you or not. And sometimes those people might be your competitors. So it's a really good way of staying in touch, keeping a regular and constant and consistent communication going, and doing it at really low cost. So there are lots of benefits there. Also, if you are good at writing, you can include articles, videos, graphics, and lots of cool things within your email, which keeps it more engaging and therefore offers more value to your reader. So the first thing I want to flag up, as you know, with everything that I do, I always talk about branding underpinning your promotional materials, and email is one way to promote your products and services. So you need to be looking at your brand. All right. What's your brand color palette? What colors are you using in your brand? What's the font you're going to use? Will you have a border? Will you use pictures or illustrations? All these kinds of things. I want you to be thinking about that when you are creating your template or your design on MailChimp, because that's what we're going to do in today's session. So just jot down for me, if you can, exactly what it is you are thinking about when it comes to your brand of your email. Have you got colors in mind? Write those down. Have you got a font in mind? If not, maybe you can look at that as well. Key things, though, will be color and font. And also, if you're going to be using a consistent style of language, do bear that in mind as well. Your tone of voice is going to be very important so that you stay consistent every time you send an email. Okay, now I will mention to you as well that collecting data is very important. So if you're not already, you need to start collecting data. And I'll show you in this session exactly how you can do that using the MailChimp sign-up form. You can also integrate the sign-up form, by the way, on platforms such as Facebook by sending a tweet or having a pinned tweet on Twitter, by doing an update on LinkedIn, by having blog posts with which connect people to your sign-up form via MailChimp. You could have something on Pinterest, which is an image that then has links to your sign-up form. So there are many ways that you can collect data. Traditional methods might include going along to an event, having a sign-up form, and getting people to opt in to receive information from you by email. But I'd say the easiest and quickest way is, of course, online. So you just get the sign-up form, promote that in as many places as you can, and maybe even have it as a regular piece of communication that's at the bottom of your emails when you send out business emails, or even on your website, having a pop-up box which will allow you to collect data so people can sign up for your newsletter. And I'll probably say to you as well that if you are quirky with the words you use on your sign-up button, that will also help you with sign-up rates. So, you don't have to use the cheesy sign up now or subscribe now. You can use your own tone of voice, use your own language, give me the info now, get me in, whatever you want to say to encourage people to actually sign up to your newsletter is going to help. Remember, you're being unique and you're being authentically you. So please do use your own kind of language that will be consistent with how you're going to show up when you are sending your emails. All right. Okay. So your sign up form, that's very important. When you're doing your sign up form, you want to be considering things like whether or not you'll offer an HTML version. So that's the version with all the graphics in it, or whether you're going to just do a text only version. Now, my advice would be to offer both options. And when you do your sign up form, get people to opt in onto which format they would like, if they want HTML or text. Because what will happen is when you design your emails, you can actually have a text generated email only, so that everybody that's signed up for the text only emails will still receive the same content, but they just won't have any pictures in them. Okay, so you can have your sign up form detailed or very simple. If you just want to collect information like name, address, where you heard of my business, for example, then you can put that on your form. However, you may want to get things like date of birth, anniversary, dress size, even find out their interest or frequency of what they want to, when they want to receive the information, or indeed what kind of information they want to receive. And that kind of information will help you with segmenting your lists. So if you're a baker, for example, and you know that there are 70 people in your list that have birthdays in September, you could do them all a bespoke email that's running a September promotional campaign on cakes. Maybe you're going to send them 6 cupcakes for every order. So understanding who's in your list is really important, and you can really easily do that and segment using the sign up form. And segmentation is all about that orange. So splitting that orange up into segments and understanding that some of your clients will not have, or all of your clients will not have the same needs. They will have different needs, and some of them might be very similar in terms of, shared ideas, interests, or even values. So if people are really interested in just branding, they'll only get information from me about branding. If they've signed up only to get information about, video, how to use video, then they'll tick that box and that's all they're going to get from me. And if they say they want all of the above, then that's great. So there'll be people that fall into all of these categories, and it's up to you how many categories you use. I would say keep it very simple. Worst thing you want to do is have lots of tick boxes on your sign up form, because that's actually going to reduce the amount of sign-ups that you get. So keep it simple, and then maybe once they're in your list, you can then start gathering more data from them, or even ask them to update their subscriber details, once they're in your list and regularly opening emails from you. Okay, so the other point I want to make as well is that when you're sending your emails, you want to be sure that you are allowing people to follow you on social media. So that means you need to include your social media icons on your email, and that's really important. That's something that a lot of business owners forget. But you also want to encourage them to share, and that's what will help you to grow your subscriber list. So they can actually share your email to other people. They can share your articles with other people. They can share anything that you've got your social share buttons next to. So there's social share and there's social follow. Follow is to connect with you. sharing buttons are to share your content externally. All right, so bear that in mind. Two really important buttons. And I'll show you on this session exactly how you can apply them to your email. So how much time have you got? And when I'm asking you this, I want you to really think about how much time you've got. So we've worked out what you might be doing in terms of your branding. We've worked out, what your area of expertise is, hopefully, as well. You already know that. But how much time have you got? How much time have you got to actually sit down and write emails? Or do you need to outsource it? Do you need to outsource email writing to a company like Insights Marketing, for example, to get your message across? Do you need to bulk write your emails and then schedule them? Because that's something that you can also do in MailChimp. So to save time, you could sit down and literally write out, 8 weeks worth of emails or 8 months worth of emails, depending on the frequency you decide, and schedule them into MailChimp. And even though they're scheduled, you can go back in and edit them up until probably the minute before they're sent. So you could pause your schedule slot and go back in and edit your campaign. So think about how much time you've got in terms of allocating time for writing, but also in terms of frequency for when you're going to send. Now, I don't recommend you tell people when you're going to send your email, just in case you aren't very good with sticking to deadlines. However, if you are really good, you're very organized, then by all means tell them they're going to get it on a Saturday morning or on a Sunday night. Let people know when to expect it, because after all, that will help them to start looking out for it. And then, as I said, they become more in tune with what you're doing. They can see what you're doing, they read what you're doing, and they know when to expect it. So that's really cool. So if you are able to, I definitely recommend that if you're a good planner, yes, you do let people know when you're going to be sending, the frequency, etc. But if you're not, don't worry. Just let them know it will come out once a week. All right. And I also advise the same thing for YouTube as well. I know some experts may disagree with me, but I think if you're going to tell people that it's going to be sent every single Wednesday, and then it doesn't go out every single Wednesday, that's not going to show you in a good light. So think about that, and then consider how you want to convey that to your list, to your subscribers, to people that are signing up. How much time have you got? Think about that. How much time have you got? And what are you saying to people? So as an expert in your field, what are the themes you're going to cover? In my newsletters, I cover things around branding, social media, and marketing, because those are the three themes that I cover when I'm not sending an email. So when I'm doing a live stream, when I'm speaking at an event, if I'm exhibiting at a conference, if I'm doing a video recording, I'm always talking about branding, marketing, or social media. So make sure that you remind yourself of your content themes so that you've got a consistent theme running through your emails all the time. So frequency, content, and also your branding is very, very important. But also monitoring. Make sure that you're monitoring what you're sending out. And I'm going to show you on today's session exactly how you can monitor what you send out using the reporting facility. So all, if not most, email platforms will allow you to see the success of your email. So that will enable you to make tweaks to things like your send times, who you send to, if you are doing segmentation of lists. If you want to change the headlines, the way you even write your emails, the types of images you use, that will be really useful if you are tapping into your monitoring, okay? So you can make informed decisions then on the best time to send, types of content people really like, what's the preferred time that people start clicking on posts, because actually, even though you might send an email at 6 a.m., you might find that most emails that are sent in the evening will get most clicks once everyone's in from work or finished up for the day. So monitoring is also very, very important. So let me just go back. So monitoring is very, very important. Okay, so I'm now going to show you how to use MailChimp. And for those of you who haven't yet logged in or signed up for MailChimp, it's important that you do that. Fill out all of the boxes. Make sure that you've got all of your information in there, your company address, the greeting that you want to use. There'll also be a note on the setup which will ask you to tell people how they've actually got into your list. So actually, I'll see if I can show you this now. So let me create a new list. And let's call that list test. So we're going to call it test. This is how you would upload a list. So you've got your spreadsheet or your CSV file, or maybe you've even integrated your MailChimp to a platform already, such as Zapier.com, Zapier. If you've linked to Zapier, Zapier will automatically, if you set it up correctly, build your mailing list for you from the back end, which means when you go into your MailChimp, the list will already be here. So I'm going to just fill in the information. This is the bit I was just talking about here. So you want to make sure you've got a reminder here of why or how people have opted in to your list. So I'm going to put in here, you've requested to receive emails from Insight to Marketing. So that means they won't feel like they're being spammed. They haven't been sent anything or any kind of emails, communication that they didn't sign up for. As an alternative in this box, I mean, you could say something like, we recently met at an event, you know, and there are different types of lists that you can create, but I'm just showing you how you'd manually do this. So I'm going to set here, you can see my contact information's here, and you can edit that, but make sure your contact information is set correctly. Don't put your home address in. If you need to purchase a virtual address, you can do that. If you just search virtual office address, I'm sure it will come up with lots for you. I'm going to do a daily summary so that I know who has subscribed, and then I'm going to save. So we've now created the list. It's going to ask me to do my contacts. At the moment, I haven't got any. What you do here is you do an import, okay? So importing would mean that you can then upload your CSV file. I'll show you now how to create the sign-up form that I mentioned to you earlier. And this form is the form that looks very much like this. So the form that I mentioned to you, so this is the form that looks very much like this. If I just start up here and go into my one, you'll be able to see this is my form. So this is my sign-up form. This is the form I use. And as I said to you earlier, I was relaying the fact that you can actually get people to tick in and tell you exactly what it is they're interested in. If people are only interested in business tips, then I can segment them out of my list. That's where people are interested in all of the above, so that all they get is business tips. If they're only interested in finding out about my events, then again, all I'd make sure I send them are details of my events via a list. So they'd go into a separate list, okay? Frequency, do they want it weekly, twice a week, or monthly? And once they've set that, again, it will tell me via the back end exactly how many times, what I should be sending, all right? So hopefully that makes sense. So the sign-up forms are here. You can access them via the Lists tab just here. Sign-up forms just here. And if you click on Select, we can get going. So this would be where you can get people to select either plain text or not. So you can see here it says list members can select plain text or HTML, which is with all the graphics. This would be the sign-up form. So where you see me here circling, this is what they would need to get your sign-up form to come up, okay? You can also share that via Facebook, Twitter, or a QR code. The QR code is like a scannable code that people can actually scan at an event or scan from the back of your business card to automatically land on your sign-up page. And I definitely recommend that. It's a brilliant way of getting people into your list really quickly without them needing to manually type out a URL or a web page. Okay, so we're going to quickly run through this. If you want to build your form, this is where you do it again via the lists tab, same section that I'm in. I've just scrolled down. So you're going to put in a test message. My test message is going to be, thank you for subscribing. Please note that this is not my official font, text, or anything. I'm just doing it for showing you in terms of demo mode. So they're going to put in their email address, their first name, their last name. But you know what? I also want them to tell me their birthday. So I'm going to add birthday in. So the form has now added in birthday. And actually, you can add in other things as well. Let's see. Let's get the date that they signed up. That would be helpful for me to know as well. So we've now added in date. Okay, so it's untitled at the minute. So I'm going to label that field on the right-hand side here. You can see me wiggling. I'm just going to put in here, date of sign up. And that needs to be saved. And you'll see it change on the left. So you can modify this however you want. Now, the next thing you want to do is design it. So we're going to add some color to it. And obviously my colors are red, white, and black, or red, white, and gray. So I'm going to change my background color to red. And by the way, this will probably look horrendous, but I'm just showing you exactly how you can do it, okay? I want to then, excellent, so this is all done. You can see it's all red. I then want to edit my header. So instead of it saying test, I want it to say sign up. Or in fact, let's be innovative. Give me the nuggets. So I'm going to put that in white. And I'm going to save and close that. Should be in white. So let's make sure we can change that font. Okay, now it'll be white. Fantastic. So you can see how easy it is to apply design. Now you can add logos and all sorts in here. I won't bore you with the rest, but you can put an image in. You just click on use image, which you can see me there wiggling on the screen. So there you've got your sign up form. And you remember I said that if you want to know what the sign up form is, it's here. So this is where you'd find your sign up form information. Now you can do your sign up form in different languages. If you perhaps have an audience in Spain, if you perhaps have an audience in a different language, let's see, I'll show you very quickly all the different languages you can get your sign up form into. And actually all you've got to do is click the button and it changes it. So let me show you Spanish. And here we go. Spanish then comes in. So Spanish language is there. So instead of it saying all the English words that you saw before, postcode, you know, date of birth, all that stuff is here. Okay. So you then save translation settings. Of course, I don't want mine in Spanish. Whilst I'd love to have a few Spanish clients and Spanish subscribers, for now, I will leave it on English. So I haven't saved any settings. So the main thing you want to take from this is that you need to have your sign up form page. Simple copy and paste. And let's see if it's saved for us here. I'm going to paste it in. And here we've got the Give Me the Nuggets tester page. So this is how you would actually send out your list. Oh, here it's still in Spanish. No problem, we don't mind. But make sure that you've got that all set up correctly, okay? I'll just go in and reset the defaults. Okay, so that's now taken my nuggets off. Fabulous. Right, so how about we get your campaign going? So when you're doing your campaign, these are some that I did before as testers. First thing you want to do is remind yourself of the reason. Why are you sending this email? What's the purpose of the email? What are you going to be saying in the email? And what do you want them to do once they've read the email? Maybe you just want them to read it and close it. Maybe you want them to read it and buy something. Maybe you want them to read it and go to your website or another blog. Think about all of these things. Your branding, your design, and everything that you want to consider must be considered at the start, although you can edit it as you go along, and I'll show you how. Create an email. Okay, so my email campaign will be test, August, begin. So my list will be a manual test. I'm going to send it to the entire list. I would say to you that if you ever have, you know, a substantial amount of people in your list, or even if you only had 5 people, but you wanted to be able to send it to people that haven't opened your email or people that have just added to your list in the last 7 days, what you do is you would actually go to save or pre-built segment or group or new segment. So here, group or new segment is where you can actually select people that match specific conditions. Now, as you know, this has got not many people in this list, but I'm just showing you. So it's people that haven't opened my emails in a while. Let's see. So they didn't open my email any of the last 5 campaigns. So campaign activity, they did not open any of my last campaigns. And then normally if I had people in this list, this would actually refresh and update itself. But there are other things you can do as well, like, you know, how many people have been, you know, within a particular workflow system, how many people have actually been added, you know, and when. So if you actually put a campaign out for an event and your event was, let's say, the 18th of July, you want to know all the sign-ups since the 18th of July. As you can see on screen there, I've just changed this date, and then I would click next. This would automatically refresh once I've pressed update recipient count. But for now, we're just working with the entire list. So I've got 1 person in my list, that lucky person, and I am going to go on to next. Now, what I should say to you as well is that at the bottom here, you can see the progress basically of how well you're doing. So at the moment we're on recipient, so we've sorted out we're sending to the 1 lucky person. We're now at setup stage. So although it hasn't flagged it up, when I press next, and I could have easily just clicked on setup, it will take me to the next stage, and the next stage is setup. So my test campaign, my campaign name is test, my email subject is we've arrived. Okay, my preview text, which is the text that will appear in the inbox after the subject line, let's say something quirky like and we're glad to see you here. And your name, your from name, my name is V and it's insight2marketing.com. Now, I would say be cautious of using accounts which might be classed as spam. So info at emails also are less personalized. So if you've got a name, and you probably have got a name, use your name if you can, and just be aware that MailChimp will give you warnings for any emails that seem dodgy or any emails that might come up as spam on your recipient's end. Because after all, you want to send an email that's likely to arrive in their inbox. And some servers and some employers and some companies will automatically block your email if you're sending from a particular server or piece of software. So just be aware of that, all right? I'm going to track my opens. I want personalized emails. So if I scroll back up here, and I'm going to click the to field. This will only be effective, by the way, this personalization, if you have saved people in your list as first name, last name, and then email. So that's 3 columns at a minimum: first name, last name, and then email. Okay. You can choose to connect to Twitter or auto post to Facebook once your campaign has been sent. I would suggest that if you're trying to grow your list, but that's entirely up to you. Next is the template. So we're now going to start creating and deciding on what we want to do. I'm going to do something really basic because this is, as you know, a demo. So let's see, let's have a big announcement. Let's do some news. Beautiful thing about MailChimp is that you can also include your own images as well as images from their library and GIFs as well. So I'm going to show you here how quickly and easily this is to do. Now, first thing you want to do is look at your design. So you can see here under the design tab of your email that you're creating, design of your page. Okay, so you might want, let's change this to red. Let's also do headings in red. So if I copy and paste this code as you've just seen me do there, I can actually make sure that it consistently appears like that here. So you see the color changed here on the left. Okay, so I'm going to save that here. Before I do that, I want to make sure all of the other headings are correct. So I'll leave that heading black and these ones as well. That's fine. So we're going to just save that. And my header, I also want, would you guess it? Red. Same red, for consistency. So you can see now my header is red. And you just go down and play with that a bit, okay? So save that. Body of the email, background, I'm going to have white, and I'm also going to have my text color as blue, just for the purposes of this. I don't suggest that you ever do that, but it's entirely up to you and your brand colors. I'd say black and gray are safest bets. But if you want to do a dark navy or even a pink, fuchsia pink, whatever you want to do, but just bear in mind legibility and accessibility. People with visual impairments cannot see certain colors on certain backgrounds, so just be aware of that, okay? So I'm going to save that there, and you can go through these and just change them up as you want to. Now, in terms of content, lovely jubbly, here we are. So I'm going to see if I can get a logo. I don't think I can, but I'm going to see. So let's say my logo is this cup. Going to add that in. I've just selected it. These are images I pre-selected for a different demo, by the way, but I just want to show you. So this is my logo here. Always add in alt text. So cup with spoon, and update that. And you also want to make sure that the dimensions are correct. If they're not, just go in and edit. I'm going to edit this with a resize, but you could also use the crop function in the same tool. So edit and crop would have done a similar thing. You can actually customize it that way as well. So there you've got my cup as a logo. Excellent. Save and close. Always save and close, otherwise you will lose work, or you could potentially use work as you go along. Editing is really simple. You just use the pencil. So I'm just going to show you how easy it is to change it. And by the way, if you are not able to complete all of these boxes, it doesn't matter, just delete them, and I'll show you how to do that in a second. Always save and close. So I'm going to now add in some pictures. So another lovely cup. It's saying it's too small, so what we'll do is we will replace with this key here. And what I'm going to do is I'm going to add in some GIFs. So let's just add in some random GIFs and cross our fingers that they are working in terms of dimensions for us. So you've got the first one hopefully going to go in. There we go. It's saying it's too small. Alt tag. Kind of basketball. You see this now changes here, and you can edit that. All right. Okay. Now I would say to you as well, if you don't resize images, they may show up funny, or more than likely they'll show up funny on your recipient's end. So do make sure that the image sizes are okay. I wouldn't say there's a particular recommended size, but I know when I'm doing my images, certainly in these kind of shapes here, I make the width at least 550 or 600. Okay, so again, you're going to do your alt tags. Okay, and just scroll down within the box here, and we'll just throw another one in. So it's that easy. You click on the image, click insert, and there you go. So they're all in now. Make sure that the dimensions are the same. You can see here they're not the same, so they're all looking a bit jaggedy and they're not aligned. So that's where you could use the crop and do a customized crop. Okay, quality images are great. Upload your own is great. Okay, so if we save and close that, just remember to resize, because that looks horrible and you wouldn't want to send out like that. You can see here the text that I made blue is still blue, which is fantastic. Now, if you forget to overtype over the generic MailChimp text, MailChimp will fail your campaign and it won't send it for you until you've edited it in most cases. So let's see how quickly it is. I'll show you. You're going to edit with the pen. Okay, and let's say something in here. This is a test. And here, I'm going to edit this as well. And it's that easy to do. So, Okay. Now we can link these things in. So I'm going to hyperlink this by clicking on this link code here. And I'm going to put in my YouTube channel. Excellent. And then I'm going to do an image here now. Even though I didn't plan to have one, I now want one. So let's see if I can do an image of coffee, because you know I love my coffee. And let's see, cute cat with coffee. All right, so we're going to insert that. These are all moving images and GIFs. And you'll remember I said that the preferred width, which I'm going to put in here, is 600, and it will automatically resize for you. And I'm going to link to this, my Facebook page. So if you put links in, make sure that they are going somewhere. Also make sure that they are opening in a new window so that you don't lose the visitor or the reader. Because once they open it, if they're opening in the same window, then they've got to go backspace and whatever to get your email up. So I would say definitely get them to open that in a new window. All right. Okay. Draw attention with another heading. So we'll just write the word howdy. Actually, I don't want it black. I want to change the color. So there you go. Change the color. Another test box. And I'm now going to show how to email. So if you want people to email you, you could actually get them again via this link to an email address. And I'm going to get them to email me. So I'm going to put my full email in. Tester. And I'm going to say from this person, how are you? So I'm sending this to myself, but this is what the other person would get. This is just as an idea. So when they get it at their side, it would say it's from and their name. How are you? Actually, let's take how are you out, because you wouldn't send that to someone. You would say from, as in your name. So we'll just do my name is, my business is, I need help with. That's easier, isn't it? That makes more sense, doesn't it, guys? So I need help with. So yeah, you can put whatever you want in there. My favorite day of the week is, my favorite tasting coffee is, whatever. And just click on insert and that will come up. You can also change the color of this link here. Okay. And you can also undo things as well. So if I save and close, go to dashboard. So I'm going to go into my campaigns now to see how well the campaign's doing. It's work in progress, so it will allow me to edit. So here it is telling me that it's a draft. I can edit it, okay? And I can actually go in, here it is, I can preview it, enter preview mode, and this is how it would look. So you can see the moving image would come up in someone's inbox. Remember, we want to resize these, okay? Clicking on here would get them through to a link. You can see that because the hand has come up on my screen, whereas there's no hand here, it's just a black arrow. But when you go here, this tells you it's a hyperlink because there's a little white glove coming up when I hover. This image, another white glove you can see in the cat's pink bow, just here. So if I click on that, opens in a new window, and it opens to the page that I want it to open to. So that's my Insight to Marketing review page. So excellent. Fantastic. So that's just showing you how simple it is. And again, you scroll down and you can see their mailing address, everything that you put in, and you can see the information. You signed up to a recent event, which is right here. That's how they know why they're getting the email in the first place. So you X off here, top right, to take yourself out of that screen. You can go back and start editing again. So I still want to edit a bit more because I don't want it to say find out more at the bottom. And I still need to add in, yes, you guessed it, the social share and social follow signs. So here I'm going to make this divider. This is a divider. I'm going to make this red, and I'm actually going to make all my dividers that color. So I can actually do that. If you remember, I cut and pasted, didn't I, my code. So pop that in there. That divider's red, and I want to apply it to all of the boxes. So click that there. So anywhere now I do a divider, you can see there it's automatically changed it for me. Save and close. Fabulous. So it looks a bit nicer now in terms of my branding. Move it up a bit. Obviously this orange and blue is totally off brand for Insight to Marketing, but it's just to show you how to change colors. That was for an example only. All right. So this is how it would look. You can see the dividers are now red. If I wanted to duplicate something, I can duplicate it. So that's two boxes exactly the same. But no, I don't want them to be underneath each other. I'm going to move it down. So I've literally just dragged on the little dots on the corner, which I'll show you again in a second. And I want to put it here. You can see it says drop block here. So I'm going to put it there. And the dots here is what enables me to drag, drag, drag. So I'm just going to drop it there. And I'm now going to change this text to something completely different. Okay, save and close. Now this is a button, so if you want to do a buy now, order now, visit the website, then you can do that. You change the text. You put in your, actually let's do, okay, so you make sure all your links are in, save and close. Actually, I want to have a red button. So I'm going to go to style. And I'm now going to make this blue button red, overtype the color that I cut and pasted. There you go. And save and close. Okay. And they're going to add in those social share buttons now. So I want them to, I'd really love for them to share my information here. So that will allow them to share directly to their pages. So save and close. And I'm also going to get them to follow me. So I'm going to add this in on this side, just a drag and drop. And I don't want it immediately there, so I'm just going to drag and drop it again. Top left where all the dots are, move it down, and I'd love it to be right at the bottom. So I'm just going to put it right here. Okay, fab. And then this will then link to my pages. So make sure that's correct. And do you know what? I also want to put in my Instagram. So I'm going to add my Instagram in there. Oh, I just deleted one. So I'm going to add that back in. It was my Twitter, which I think is higher up, isn't it? Yes, it is. So my Twitter. And then we add another service. I think I will do my Instagram. And you can add quite a few different ones in there. So as you might have just seen where it says add service, that's precisely where you do that. Okay. So save and close. But if you didn't want to save and close and you wanted to add more in, you can just go to add another service. And there are lots more. Okay. And you can delete the service if you want with this button. You can also reorder them. So again, these three dots will come in handy. If I want everyone to go to Instagram first, I'm simply going to drag and drop and reorder. So it will go here above the Facebook, and you can see here it's changed. Save and close. Okay, so now we've added in our social share buttons. I'm going to put my divider here again with the drag and drop. This doesn't look nice in terms of design, but it's just to show you the various functionalities. Okay, so if you wanted to embed a video, let's put an intro video here. All you do is put the website address in. So let's get a video up, shall we? Let's see. Okay, so let's get a video up. We found the video that we want.
we run a lot of campaigns. Instapage allows us.
So this is the video we want. We're simply going to cut and paste the link here. So share. You get the code down here. You can see at the bottom of the screen. So you copy and paste that code. Copy and paste. Then you put it into your campaign. And what happens is it should give you a pretty picture. And that picture will autoplay. Now you want to have your alt tag as well. You can see it there on the left. You want to have your alt tag. So let's just say something like tasty cheese. Okay, and update that. You can see it there. You might even want to update the size of your image. So we can crop it. You can see here, by the way, just here, can make it custom. So let's get it to 600 or so. Okay, so 599 will do. That's fine. And you can even drag and drop it across. I'm going to put it just here. That cheese does look yummy, doesn't it? Then we're going to click save. So this is going to bring my image into a size that I think will work better for my email personally. And I'm also going to change the setting of it so that it's positioned with the caption at the top and the image is aligned to the center. So you can see now it's starting to look a bit neater, isn't it? And we're going to add some content to it. So we've got the link in. We've done the alt tag here, which is tasty cheese mama. It's linked already now to the YouTube. Okay, fabulous. And we are now going to add some text. So I've just scrolled down in the same box and just typing out my information. So save and close. All right, so actually I want to make the background of this red too. So background. Okay, so save and close everything. And you can see we're nearly there, guys. We are nearly there. Alt tag everything because we didn't alt tag everything. And this one I'm just doing as well. I won't go in and edit all of the images, but you want to make sure that you've checked any kind of yellow alarm bells that MailChimp will tell you and resize. It will still let you send it, but you don't want to send it with it looking like that. So make sure your images are nicely aligned, okay? This is a big no-no in my eyes because it's not very good formatting. So save and close, preview and test, enter preview mode. So we've done all the checks. We've got our header. We've done our preview text. We've got our headline. We've also included the social share and the social follow buttons. You've got the information on your bottom of your email as to why they are receiving the email. You can see that right at the bottom here. I've shown you how to embed a file. I've shown you how to embed a video. I've shown you how to insert an image. You've got your mailing address there. You've also got the capacity to use dividers that are all the same color. We've branded it as well. Very basic branding, but you can make it as pretty as you want. Now, the last thing I want to tell you is that you need to also be checking on what it's going to look like on a mobile phone. Very, very important. So you can see there, my image isn't going to look too great. So if it was a logo, which my logo does normally fit on screen, then that's brilliant. So you want to make sure that you do see exactly how it would appear on video. This could tell you actually that you need to resize some of your images, but that's at your discretion, okay? So this is how it would look on an email. So I can just quickly show you. Okay. Super. So I'm now going to do a test email to myself. Oh, hold on. I didn't save and close. Right, so I'm going to do a test email to myself. So send test. If you're sending it to someone else in your team, then you might add in a note. Send test. It will send the test email to whoever you've got in that email list. I'm just going to quickly check that I've got it. I believe it's coming in now. Okay, super. Yes, it has landed. So you've now got your email set up. So once you've tested it, you know, you've checked in preview mode. You've also checked in viewing mode on screen, mobile. If you're happy with it, then it can go. So you just scroll down, do that final check, make sure that your video is linking somewhere. So let's just double check that link for the video. I can't see that it went anywhere. Preview mode. So from here. Okay, so that's flagging up that there's an error with the link. So if we do that, click on that button there, refresh the page again. Sometimes it gets stuck. Right, so if we just check under preview mode again, and if it's not working, we can just, I'll show you how to just triple check the link. So if I click on this, okay, so it's not working. So Tasty Cheese, got the URL, copy and paste, go back to the campaign, click on here to edit the link. Oh, let's duplicate it because there's clearly something wrong with it. Okay. How about we do a new one and I'll just show you because there's something wrong. MailChimp. Okay, so if I delete that, yes, I am sure. Okay, so if we now check to see whether or not the videos are working, we can go in and just triple check this link is working. So the link, overtype it, insert, save and close. And we'll just triple check that that link is now working. Yes, it is. So it's now opening the Tasty Cheese link. Fabulous. All right, so we're good to go. So we just X that out now. We've done the preview. I've checked it on my phone. I love how it looks on the phone. Obviously, this is demo mode. This is not how I would send out my emails. If you know already, if you're on my email list already, then you'll know the quality of my emails, how I send them out. But do make sure you've done your previews and your tests before you press send. You then go to confirm stage. And all you're going to do on confirm is take all these green ticks, make sure they're all ticked. If there is a yellow tick for any reason, you just go back and check the alert that they're sharing with you. So I want to also give myself a social card, so you can see how I don't have that enabled. I would edit it, and this social card will allow me, once enabled, to show pictures that might be relevant to my newsletter, that when this is shared anywhere publicly, this is what people will see. They will see my cup, they will see my quirky caption or something, and just say newsletter from V. Okay, and then we're going to scroll down, and you can see here, this is how it would look on Twitter, this is how it would look on Facebook, this is how it would look on Pinterest. Okay, so it's showing you if it's shared anywhere publicly, even if you share your newsletter, save and close, and there you go. So it's now updated it, it's green, and it says, excellent, your social card is ready to roll. And here we are here. I can click send, and that's when my campaign goes. Now, I want to show you another feature. It's sending, it's sent. I go back into campaigns. Do you know what? I want to send the same email again, but next week and with different content. So what I'm going to do now is go in and press, it's still sending it. So let me use this one, which was already sent. So I'm going to go here and replicate and sending to the entire list of all of one subscribers. And I'm going to go right here in design because I already know the setup and templates correct. So in the design stage is where under the design tab, I can actually get editing. So I'm going to say something like issue 2. Okay, so I'll just change this slightly. You want to make sure there's no date references in this or anything. If you are going to just be editing what you do week by week, make sure there's no date references in your materials. And then you're going to go down. Okay, and then you're going to go next. But instead of you, bearing in mind you've done your preview and you've done your test send, instead of you sending, you're going to run down here, make sure it's all correct. I think it's going to tell me, yep, it's all good. So then I'm going to schedule, because I want to send this next week. So I'm going to schedule this. And when I click on schedule, excellent, it's going to allow me to schedule my email. So here you've got it. I want to schedule for 8th of September at 6:15 a.m. And then you just press schedule campaign. And what happens is it goes into that list of campaigns. So here, campaigns, schedule 1 is here, hasn't gone out yet. I could still pause and edit it further here on the right hand side. And here's the one that I sent. And you can see here, hasn't refreshed yet, but you can see there that that's actually the email. It will tell you how many people have opened it, how many people have clicked it, and so on. And you can go in and view a report. So this is one I sent earlier. So I'm now in to review the report. I'm going to be looking at who did what on my email. So one person opened, nobody clicked. This was a test email. Okay. Person with most opened is hello@insightmarketing.com. And here you can see any of the links that you embedded in your email behind photos or videos are here. You'll be able to see on something like this how many links were clicked and by whom. All right, so this is a very simple reporting facility and it's quite cool actually. I've just opened out my email and it looks great. So just triple checking it. Fantastic. So there you've got it. Email marketing using MailChimp. Now, for more tips and information on how you can actually get yourself going on MailChimp, if you want to ask any questions, please feel free to do so. Today's was just a quick run through on MailChimp, and obviously MailChimp have also got their own help desk. So if you want to speak to the MailChimp help desk, you can. Or alternatively, you can email me if you are not a member of the Action Takers membership group. If you are a member of the Action Takers membership group, then you can message me at any time in the group with regards to your email. Okay, have a great day, everyone, and I'll speak to you soon. Bye-bye.